Stream start. Just size, good. Up. Should be good. Do we have visual? Do we have a visual on the stream? Please register. Visual on the stream. Okay, looks good. Does it sound good? Sounds good as well. A little loud in my ears, but that's fine. So, hello, people of the internet. It is I, Solar Dragon here, back at last with more Fate Grand Order. That may be strange for those of you watching this on YouTube. Be sure to like and subscribe so you know when the next part of this comes out. But, long story short, I've been without heat in my house since Thursday. It was just restored today. So, yeah. Suffice to say, no heat and outside temperatures being in the teens to single digits makes the inside quite cold. And considering I was bundled up again underneath multiple layers of blankets during those times, I really couldn't justify streaming. That and the cold was kind of just trashing all my tech and stuff. Everything was so slow and choppy and laggy, it was ridiculous. So, but we're back at last. It's just a couple days later than intended, but we will be resuming Lostbelt 7 here. I just need to remember exactly where I was, because, again, it's been a few days. So much for my every day I will do a part of Lostbelt 7 at least. It's going to be fine for those of you watching this on YouTube, because, you know, this is going to be published after I finished Lostbelt 7, because I like to make the thumbnails, and I don't want the thumbnails to sort of overlap or anything. Anyways, if memory serves, last section was section 11. There was a sort of interlude part. A fragment had appeared in the interim. Last time there was a fragment, I did it with the associated part, but this time I'm doing it separately. No idea who it's going to be, but then we will be doing section 12 and going from there. So let's start with fragment 2. But this will be part of section 12's episode. Episode? Video? Yeah, it's kind of the same thing. Okay. Long time no see, President Girl. Have you come for your revenge? So this fragment is from Olga's point of view. I gotta say, I'm amazed you survived that. Guess you're right to call yourself a god. So something happened to... So Tez did something to Olga. So all three of you are still alive. What an odd quirk of fate that we're all here together at the moment the world ends, even if it is more of a preview. Is this really what you want, David? Krishtaria rebelled against the foreign god's machinations. He tried to use his tree of emptiness to evolve all of humankind. But you're trying to eradicate us completely. That's... Hey! It's us! We get lines! We get a spoken line in the game! Yay! That's no different from the foreign god's efforts to erase human history. I'm pretty sure that's the exact dialogue choice we chose, wasn't it? Ah, and that brought something to Olga's mind. Okay, so there's going to be some conflict. So Olga is definitely remembering portions that she is the foreign god, and now she's conflicted because she heard what we said, what the foreign god was going to do. I don't know who I am, because after that servant killed me, I temporarily reset myself to reduce the strain that comes with a reboot. When I woke up in that cave, all I could remember was my name. My purpose, and information I probably acquired from video records on an external storage unit. I'm an alien named Olga Marie. My purpose is to take charge of foolish humankind and save this planet. Those two things are all I remembered. I have to say, even dead, I did a stellar job. There was no way anyone could misinterpret something so simple. But, and maybe this was due to my reset, when I lost the ornaments that made me who I am, it exposed some parts of me which had, until then, been hidden. I began to feel my feelings much more freely. Put differently, my judgment was impaired. So, Tezcat actually beat you. No, Cuckoo Lotkin beat you, Olga Marie. But Tezcat had something to do with all that. Tezcatlipoca had something to do with all that as well. Olga died, reset herself, but lost something in the reset. And by doing so, those, whatever she lost, also took away her memories, and without those memories, she's able to feel more freely. I began ignoring my assigned order and instead prioritized my own decisions. And so I chose certain courses of action simply because I thought they were good. I liked doing that. I don't understand why, but when I was traveling with Sol and Mash to Chichen Itza, the best word to describe how I felt is fulfilled. I was also interested in the organization they said they belonged to. When I told them I'd help them, my brain was absolutely flooded with dopamine. And so I just chose to ignore the difference between the Earthlings and myself. I had this sense that everything would kind of work out, somehow. If only, if only, if only. Even though I have no idea who I really am. Poor Olga.
I'm here. I'm finally here. I'm seeing the best scenery in all Chichen Itza with the most beautiful woman I've ever laid my eyes on.
Oh, this is when Wakchan took you, Olga, away somewhere. Okay. I was completely at a loss for words. After I'd spent the whole day with Wakchan the warrior as he showed me around the city, the last place we visited was neither a glamorous meeting hall nor a noisy stadium. It was a tranquil but unremarkable landscape offering nothing more than a peaceful view of the whole city. I was going to say it's like a cliffside overlooking the glory that is Chichen Itza, but it's interesting that there's all the roots or something growing on all the buildings. It's kind of interesting, you know?
It's pretty, right? Sunlight's great for sure, but I also really like these nighttime lights. They say the bonfires are just to keep the darkness away, and that sunless nights are supposed to be for resting. But I like seeing the dinos' shadows cast by the flames. I like the pictures they paint on the walls. I guess it feels like really living, somehow. Not just surviving like in the jungle. It's almost like we're leaving behind proof that we exist in places there usually wouldn't be any. I know they're just shadows, but whenever I see one that looks like my old man, it always reminds me of him.
I didn't say anything in response, because that's when it really hit me. This is a truly tranquil world. Dino society is downright utopian compared to human society. There's no comparison whatsoever. The fact that their strongest warrior's favorite place was an arena for him to demonstrate his combat prowess, but a quiet place overlooking the entire city, was undeniable proof.
Olga, what's wrong? Are you hurt? Did you bang yourself on something? But I don't see any wound.
This is exactly the kind of world I wanted to create before I wound up like this. Even so, I can feel myself rejecting it. It's such a wonderful world, but I know I have no place in it. I'm the sort of being who burns places like this to the ground. This is wrong. Too different.
What's different? The way you look at it? The way you're shaped? I mean, yeah, you're obviously different from us and from Sol's group. But that doesn't bother me. All that matters is what's on the inside. Your heart. And your heart is beautiful. Your heart is exactly like the color of the stars I saw at the observatory when I was a kid. It's spiky and cool, and it's got all 7 colors of the rainbow. It's not shaped like anyone else's.
My judgment was impaired. I was prioritizing my emotions. That's why I... I've had it. Go away. Get out of my sight.
Olga, what is it? Why are you so mad?
I've always hated lizards. From the first moment I saw you, I've been sick to my stomach. And you have the gall to put yourselves on the same level as humanity? A species as ugly and stupid as yours could never be anything like humanity. I was so harsh with them. And so that Dinos, the one who once seemed so free-spirited, so innocent, so larger than life, slunk away forlorn, seeming like he'd shrunk to half his size. Aw, Olga. I know you're in a mood, but that's no way to treat somebody. So this is the night when she obviously went. Okay. Okay. I feel a wave of self-loathing, so intense it makes me dizzy. My body's functions begin to fluctuate because of how sorry I feel for what I just did to Wakchan, as she should. I was lashing out, plain and simple. I was aggressive, short-tempered, and cowardly. Then I realized I didn't have the courage to stop Wakchan from leaving, or to apologize. Not then. Even now, I don't have the courage to join anyone else, so I'm spending another night wandering aimlessly, alone. Still, I've no idea what to do. My memory reset was only temporary. I can still remember what I forgot if I see it again. Which is why Tezcatlipoca. Seeing him made me remember something. I remember him killing me once, and I remember that when he did, he called me the foreign god. I'm the foreign god, Chaldea's sworn enemy. I may be proud of being an enemy of humanity, but I don't even want to think about being an enemy of Chaldea. I don't think I can go back to Tepeu's house right now. Not until I get my emotions sorted out.
Well, I didn't even realize the sun had already left. Those proper human history stories are so interesting. There's so much more I want to hear about the Lostbelts. The Grease place sounded awesome. I'd love to visit it myself. They say machines like the Stormboarder were all over the world. Can you imagine?
Main Street was filled with dinos talking about Chaldea. I guess Soul's telling them the stories about the Lostbelts at the Kokta Shrine. Why would they bother telling the dinos all that? It'll just let the dinos find out who did all this. Maybe Soul and Mash don't know I'm the foreign god? No, of course they don't. If they did, they would have never let me come along with them. Soul doesn't know, Mash doesn't know. Nobody at Chaldea knows. They can't know. They can't. I'm not dinos. I'm not human. I don't belong anywhere.
But you know, as much as I'd like to hear more stories... Yeah, I know what you mean. Proper human history stories are fun, but they're also really sad.
Fun but sad. Of course they are. We couldn't ever really be a part of that group, no matter how much we might want to. ... Forget it. I'm just gonna stop thinking. I'm gonna forget the foreign god and go back to who I was before I went to Mexico City. But just when I was about to completely give in to desperation... Hey, there you are! Hey! I saw Soul waving and coming my way. So we pulled you, Olga Marie, out of her depression. That's nice. We get a quartz. And that's the first quest of the day. That was Fragment 2. Kingdom of Corpses is the name of Section 12. Only 6 arrows, only, he says. That's still quite a bit, but we'll see how long it's going to actually take. We'll determine if we do more than one section today. Because last time we only did one section. Alright, start. It will, of course, black out, so I'm going to have to restart. FGO. Just gotta wait for things to get past the loading screen so it doesn't have to do it twice. Okay. Restart FGO. Oh, did not mean to adjust the size of the screen. Up. Should be good. Tap. Tap. Snap my neck. Resume from start. Ooh, I am way... So messing with that size by accident did mess it up a little bit. Easy fix, though. Easy fix. There we go. Yeah, Section 12, Kingdom of Corpses, which is what this episode's name should be called. Or video, rather. Still not sure if they're episodes or videos. I always label them differently. Good morning. Good morning. You're the first one up today. Nice to see you seem to have gotten a good night's rest. Olga Marie told me to go to bed early yesterday. You know, Sol, Father Kotomine actually left me a message to give you. It's about her. Not so long ago, I'm sure I would have only told you the message's contents, and would not have been able to imagine how you might feel about them, but... No, never mind that. Let me just give you the message. Chaldeans, I know this is short notice, but the young Miss and I have decided to part ways with you. Though she has yet to regain her memories, and she is not yet sure who she really is, she has said, and I quote, I'm sick and tired of dumb dinos, weak-ass earthlings, and stupid, sweltering Mictlan. We will therefore be leaving this Lostbelt tonight. I'm sorry I can't be present for your confrontation with David, but as the young Mrs. Butler, I'm obliged to obey her. I wish you luck in your future endeavors, shepherd of the lost sheep, Father Kotomine. The end. Kind of expected that. Yes, oh, and one more thing. Father Kotomine asked me to give you this as well. As are the carvings on this bark which you call English. Anyway, Olga Marie made this for you. Aww. It's interesting that that's in English. Ooh, difficult choice here. Difficult choice. Do we go for ... or ... I don't know. I mean, the first one, it conveys the sense of hopelessness and sorrow that we're feeling right now. But that second one, oh man, the context in which the second one is having, man, I don't know. You know what? I think we gotta go with that bit of sorrow in the first one. I think that bit of sorrow is more appropriate. I see. So Olga Marie and Rasputin are gone. I actually saw that Olga Marie, the foreign god signal, had disappeared from our instruments. I was only able to follow it part way, but it looks like she was headed toward the surface. Well, the first stratum. Well, she didn't attack us, so that suggests she still hasn't regained her memories. She may not have liked me much, but I felt more like she saw me as a rival than an actual enemy. If anything, it seemed like she was fond of us, especially Sol and Mash. But she still left without saying goodbye. That must mean... Was she offended by how wishy-washy we were about including her? I know what that's like. Hell, I don't know what it's like to not feel that way. Every time I joined a club in university, I always felt I was the only one who didn't belong. It's hard. It feels like laying on a bed of nails, and above all, my fierce pride simply couldn't take it. I bet it was Rasputin's idea. I know I told him they should leave. But seeing Sol and Mash's response is making me wonder if I was wrong. Caddick, you are always wrong. Let's be frank here, Caddick. You are always wrong. No, deep down, I think I was secretly hoping Olga Marie, the spitting of Olga Marie, would officially join Chaldea in the end. I'm gonna miss her too. Yes, she was the foreign god, but she was hilarious to watch, and had gaps in her knowledge and defense so big you could drive a bus right through them. If I had managed to take advantage of one of those openings and analyzed her, that would have made it really easy to find out what exactly the foreign god is. Why she looks like Chaldea's former director, and how she incarnated into a beast spirit origin. Alright everyone, chin up. No harm has been done, so there's no cause to be depressed. We may have lost our chance to verify it, but the fact that she's still suffering from memory loss is good news. It gives us an opportunity to complete one of our original objectives, stop the foreign god from fusing with ORT. I agree. Heartless as it sounds, there's no sense discussing it any further. Yulgamari is no longer helping us. She's our enemy once more, and that's how I'm going to think of her. Got that, Smash, Soul? But maybe she hasn't left for good. There's still a chance she could decide to come back. Yes, that's definitely possible. So if you do run into her again, make sure you're prepared to defend yourselves. That said, if she does come to asking to talk instead of attacking, I won't force you to strike first. When that time comes, I'll leave the decision up to you. Got it? Go on. Repeat back what I said. Thank you, Captain. That's not what I said. Also, why are you thanking me? Shows you trust not only us, but her too. Is he blushing a little bit? It almost looks like it, but maybe my eyes are just seeing things. Which, technically, eyes should be seeing things. They should. That Marine didn't have any unique skills to separate him from the rest of the series, but he was a much better judge of character than I've ever seen. Hey. Praising the one that was lost. Alright, it took us a lot longer than I expected, but it's finally time to start our staff briefing. First, I want to reconfirm our main objectives. The primary one, as we just mentioned, was to neutralize the foreign god and stop her from fusing with ORT. Our secondary objective was to excise the South American Lostbelt and capture the last cryptor, David. Obviously, things have changed since then. There's been no shortage of surprises in this Lostbelt, and now we have to rethink how we can handle those two objectives. For one, now that a foreign god is suffering from memory loss, she's not even thinking about fusing with ORT. Meanwhile, David the Cryptor and his servant Tezcat Lapoca are now trying to use ORT to their own ends. It's not what you saw in Mexico City was, in fact, a vision of the near future. Then we must begin by considering how we can prevent it from coming to pass.
Right you are. Unfortunately, the Ortonax contained no video footage of the collapse of Mictlan and Earth that Sol reported. Not because it didn't record for that span of time, you see, because that footage, and only that footage, was lost. We therefore have no choice but to take our field operative's words for it. Still, I have to ask, are you sure the whole Earth was really falling apart? It wasn't an illusion or a forced perspective or something else along those lines.
It was real.
I can't believe it. Oh, I'm not talking about your testimony, I'm talking about David's absolutely insane plan. Isn't he working for the foreign god, and doesn't the foreign god want to rule the Earth? So how can she possibly rule the planet if it no longer exists? Koyanskaya, do you have any idea what he's thinking? The fact is, you did used to be on the Cryptor's side, so you must know more than anyone else here.
Afraid I haven't the slightest clue, and I'm not alone there. David was always enigmatic, even to the other Cryptors and the foreign god's disciples. Before the foreign god appeared here as Yulgamari, she was only focused on Lord Kishtaria. She had less than no interest in the other Cryptors. Now that I think about it, though, she did kind of seem like she was deliberately ignoring David. Well, more that she chose to leave him out of her plans. She never so much as gave him an order, never even said she didn't care what he did. That's not how you treat a subordinate, if anything. Yes, she was treating him like an equal, or possibly a superior. The foreign god and I signed a mutual non-aggression pact, which let me do whatever I wanted. But the foreign god never had any authority over Lord David. Maybe Lord David was never even a Cryptor to begin with. Ooh, interesting. Does that mean never a Cryptor to begin with? Does that mean he was never really on Krishtaria's side? I see. No, I feel like he was probably on Krishtaria's side. Maybe he had his own goals? I mean, he clearly had his own goals if he wants to unleash freaking ORT, but... Now I understand what that file of Woodamaze I saw on Olympus was talking about. Chirolite, David was a member of Team A. That's not in question. That said, he was never in the same position as us. He didn't owe the foreign god anything. For that matter, the rest of us had never even heard the word Cryptor until we were brought back to life. Me, Ophelia, Akuta, Beryl, none of us had heard it before, but it looked like David was already familiar with it. You know, something tells me Yume Rin did not actually die and was just pretending and got caught up in everything. Just something. At the time, I thought the name was like a blood oath sealing our vow to revolt against humanity, but I was wrong. It was actually the foreign god who told Kirstari that we were to be called Cryptors. So calling you Cryptors was not Woodaming's idea after all. Then what are the requirements for being one? Do you just need to be a member of Team A? I'm not totally sure, but like I said, the rest of us only learned the name Cryptor when the foreign god resurrected us. What's more, there was a price we had to pay if we were going to be resurrected. Resolve the incineration of humanity. While we were in our coffins, the foreign god promised to resurrect us. If we could prove we had the same power to resolve the incineration of humanity incident that Sol and Nash did. But that was impossible. Me, Ophelia, and everyone else on Team A were all dead in our coffins. It was hopeless. We couldn't even have made it through the first singularity like that. So Woodame did it for us. He resolved the incineration of humanity incident all by himself several times over so that we wouldn't have to. He never said anything about it, never threw it in our faces. He just made sure we all had the same opportunities he did. Yes, I can certainly see him doing that. I understand how you feel, Kanik. It's okay. I'm calmer now. I can just imagine the troubled expression on Woodame's face if he saw me making you sympathize with him like that. Anyway, my point is I never found any mention of David's resurrection. I'm just guessing here, but I think David somehow managed to resurrect himself. It's because he did a kickflip off the Ark of the Covenant in the Okeanos Singularity, and then he kickflipped it right into Heracles, destroying all 12 lives, and then rode that kickflip all the way to the final Singularity, where he did the same thing by kickflipping it into Goetia, and destroyed Goetia, and thus resolved everything. That is what the memes said, or something like it. Apparently the foreign god needed a certain amount of energy to resurrect us. In fact, it took the same amount needed to clear the incineration of humanity. David managed it by generating that energy all on his own. I bet even the foreign god must have been at a loss. According to Woodame's records, the foreign god gave us only minimal support in our coffins by letting us use Chaldea's summoning system to summon servants. But apparently, David didn't even make use of that. It's because he did the kickflip! So even though it was all just a simulation, he resolved the incineration of humanity alone, without a single servant. That is honestly impressive. Memes notwithstanding, that is damn impressive. What is he capable of? What the hell? What is he, some kind of supermaster or something? Was he being a jerk? Or was he just showing off? Did he feel compelled to prove he's a better master than Sol by resolving the incineration of humanity without a single servant's help? It wasn't like that. Again, I'm quoting from Wodame's records. David Void was omitted because his way of thinking and living never belonged with humanity in the first place. I see, then he would have had no choice but to satisfy this condition on his own. Because he's not part of humankind, and since he isn't on humanity's side, he couldn't summon a servant even if he wanted to. But he is human? Oh. Something's happening. Must you sound the alarm at the worst possible timing, Smolier. What is it anyway? We've got a problem. Something's rampaging outside. Even the dinos are all fleeing in terror. Maybe we should suspend this briefing for now and see what's up. Got it. Sol, Mash. We're gonna take care of it. Right, Habitrack, can you help us? Sure thing. It's probably just some carnivorous insects or acclama anyway. I'll have this wrapped up in no time. So that is something. So David did everything solo. He truly is the solo leveling. I don't know, I've been watching solo leveling lately, and it is awesome. Quite enjoy it. I quite enjoy the solo leveling. Watched all of I binged all of season 1, like, the month before it came out. Mainly because I was kind of... who's that? Bunyan. Why have Berserk Bunyan so high up? I don't know. But, mainly because I had finished Arcane, and Arcane had me feeling that post-Arcane depression, so I needed something to take its place, and solo leveling just happened to be something my brother had been somewhat badgering me to watch, so I decided to watch it, and I enjoyed it. Gotta like Korean manhwas. Got to like them. It reminds me of The Gamer. The first manhwa I ever read. Years upon years upon years. Okay, hello. Moving corpses. They're not terribly strong, but they are numerous. But we have a Meltrillis to take care of these corpses. There's 30 of them, now there's 24, and we do indeed have another NP. Good, good, good. Ah, moving corpse 1 is different from moving moving corpse I is different from moving corpse G. Okay, that's interesting. Frenzied Cry. Let's still go with the attack boost. Makes me feel more secure. And then keep that. Pardon the yawn. But sleeping well does not happen often when it's freezing cold. I've had to be underneath layers of blankets for so many days. Only day of reprieve was Saturday when it was D&D day, so I'd left the house. That was the only reprieve from this cold that I had been experiencing. But heat's back, nice and toasty, warm. Well, not necessarily toasty, but it's warm, at least. It's going to take some time to get hot, or really hot. And honestly, it couldn't have come a day sooner, because where I live... hang on. Let's do this. Anyways, where I live is going to be cold enough tomorrow and Wednesday that pretty much every local school has closed due to the cold. For 2 days, local schools, I think just like non-university level schools, are closed just to keep the kids safe. That is wild. And it's a cold without a snow either, so it's kind of a dry cold. If it was, I mean, I don't like the cold either way, but a wet cold might be different because, you know, then there's snow, but I digress. I just hate the cold, and I'm glad it's warm, and you corpses need to stop picking on Lam Lam. Yeah, stop picking on my Lam Lam. May as well do this now. Because... beep-bop-boop. 6 to take out these, and then the last one's probably going to be an assassin. Hopefully Cass will be able to KO it with some crits. Or not. That's a high HP bar. Ba-dum-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum, ba-dum-bum, bum, ba-dun-dun, ba-da-bum, ba-da-bum. There we go. I don't not remember what lyrics I was just humming work to, but it's something that just popped into my brain noodle. Wow. 5 HP it survived on. That is wild. That is wild. I've seen that a couple times, like non-guts single-digit HPs, but it would have been awesome if I had got down to 1 HP without the guts. That would have been cool. Or, no, I gotta take the word cool out of my vocabulary to show my disdain for the cold. What is a good substitute word instead of cool? That would be awesome. I mean, it's a bit more wordy, and it's kind of standard, but it would work. Reset FGO again. FGO again. Reset FGO again. There we go. Good. Visually looks fine. It's talking about Archetype Earth. And resume from start. I really don't like that, this is such a... I guess process-heavy thing that it's forcing that kind of reset every single time. That is very much annoying. And it's not my phone's fault either. It is the technology that I'm using to stream my phone to my computer, so... Maybe if I had a different one, it would be fine, but it sounds like even BlueStacks was bugging out. Camazotz! It's Camazotz! It's the bat. The shadow of death is here. He didn't even need to wait for it to get dark. Run! Run for your lives! Run before he sucks your blood and turns you into a living corpse. Those were humanoid corpses, though. Were they Akhlema? Our enemies approaching from the jungle. They're still coming. Master! Those footsteps are shaking the ground. Must be mindless dinos. Be careful, everyone. No President, no Kuklaken right now, so we'll need a servant to break through its defenses. Or a Mystic Code if you've got one that can do the trick. Oh, shit. That's right. These dinos had invincibility. Okay. I know what you said, but... Ignore invincible. No. That's not bad. That's okay as well. It's a bit of an attack boost. Both of these are attack boost. MP strength by 20, though. No, no. 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 See emptiness is a path for an NP strength by 20%. Hey, Mordred, welcome to the stream. Happy things. I'm on Arrow 2 of Section 12, so I think I'm about to be facing off against the mindless dinos who have invincibility. I think that's what I'm about to be up against, if memory serves, at least. So I'm putting an Ignore Invincibility on Lam, and let's roll. Yeah, happy things, Mordred, happy things. I am warm once more. I don't know if you saw my stream titles. Oh, it's one dino. Dead Apostle Dinos. I'm sorry, what? Dead Apostle Dinos. That's hilarious. Okay, that's great. That is excellent. Pure excellence there, game. Dead Apostle Dinosaurs. Yes, heat restored, because... Yes. Essentially, ever since Thursday... Well, technically Thursday, but realistically enough, you could say, Wednesday evening, but really it was Thursday morning at 1:30 in the morning. Everybody in the house woke up to the smell of burning rubber. It didn't take long to figure out that it was a furnace. We tried resetting it many times, and it did not do any good. So we had to shut off the furnace. On Thursday, there was no heat, and we had somebody come out to look everything over. Of course you didn't, entity loss, you bugger. But we had somebody come out to look the heater over. Initially, it was just, yeah, there's something wrong with the fan, we can fix that. But then, once the fan was fixed, it was discovered that there was also something wrong with the electrical wiring, which is what caused the, smell of burning rubber. So, heat was off because of that. Heat has been off since Thursday. And just today has heat finally been restored. And not... Oh, shit. I was not paying attention to this fight. And not a day too soon, because where I live, starting tomorrow, it is going to be bitterly cold. It is cold enough that many of the local schools have already started canceling their classes for the next 2 days to keep the kids safe from the cold. So, suffice to say, it has been not too nice these past weekend. But in essence, because it was so cold, I've been bundled up between multiple blankets, and if my hands were out for too long, my hands would get really cold, so it's not really conducive to playing mobile games, or any games, for that matter. It was just a lot of YouTube videos being watched. A lot of YouTube videos. Kind of looked like it self-destructed. I thought the same. It seemed like something other than poison or pain robbed it of its intelligence. Never thought we'd run into monsters like that in the Lostbelt. It'll be brief. You just fought a vampire. The dinos must have been attacked by a blood-sucking monster that became one itself. As for the animal-eated corpses you fought prior to that one, they must have been lesser familiars and ghouls. Such monsters are created by imbibing the blood of the undead, which causes them to instinctually seek more blood, even after death. They're a type of enemy we've not seen previously. They're also a foreign enemy, which would not normally be our problem. So now, as if David Semboyd and Tezcatlipoca were not bad enough, it seems we must also address another new threat to Chaldea. That's not new at all. That's Camazotz. The dinos even said so. Camazotz, as in one of the major dark gods of the Xibalba described in the Popol Vuh of text of Mayan mythology. Sure, why not? I know most of those words. Now that you mention it, I remember seeing details about someone by that name in Soul's report as well. Are you sure it's him? Are you certain you were not mistaken, or that you misheard perhaps? According to the Popol Vuh, Camazotz was a monster who cut off people's heads and drank their blood, but it says nothing about him being able to control the dead. Well, this is bad, very bad, Sion and Da Vinci. For dinos, Camazotz is even more frightening than the night. Whenever he shows up, all the dinos hide away in their homes. And that means they won't be able to help repair the border, so it'll take us even longer to finish repairing it. Well, I suppose our original plan was to fix it ourselves, so we haven't really lost anything in that sense, but isn't Chichen Itza in trouble? Yes, it is. We're in Chichen Itza's territory right now, and there's no telling when the monsters might head for the city. Then we have no choice but to defeat Camazotz. Besides, he's the one who's been using Master's command spells without his permission. I knew you would have to face him eventually, so if that time is now, I have no objections. So he's the one with the command spells. Alright, I don't blame you for being upset, Nash. Also, I'm surprised you already knew about Camazotz Tepeu. I thought you were meeting him for the first time back in the first underworld along with the rest of us. Well, that was my first time actually meeting him in person. Camazotz is the only being in Mictlan who's superior to us dinos, which makes him a frightening figure. I just happen to not think of him that way myself, so when we met him, I only thought I was, oh no, so that's Camazotz. So the dinos are simply scared of him then. I suppose that means it's up to us then. It's only right that we repay the dinos for all their help and hospitality. Soul, Mash, go take care of Camazotz for them. I'll even send Kawayanskaya to help you. Me? Why me? Oh, no particular reason. I certainly haven't been wondering how long this vixen means to keep mooching off of us, wondering if she'll ever take a page from the dino's book. None of that has ever occurred to me. No, sir, not once. Anyway, good luck. Oh, Koyan. I've decided I'm coming along too. I already know which direction the ghouls came from. It's the jungle northwest of here. The same place you all went to look for food before. What did you just say? Oh? What did who just say, Tepeu? What did who just say? We're not moving to another layer. Kingdom of Corpses Arrow 3 is another battle. So get ready for FGO to reset. Okay, all loaded, so reset FGO. Screen adjusted just right. Come on. You can do it. Laptop, I believe. There we go. Looks good. And it's a little bit low, but that's easy to fix. There we go. Resume from the start. I was so intrigued I decided to join you. Kamazatz is probably just hiding in the ancient Khan ruins. It's a dangerous place, so this time I want to do everything I can to ensure all your safety this time. This time? Did something happen at these ruins before? No, not a Khan. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. Come, let's hurry. To pay you, he was talking about what happened with the Marine. Are these ruins dangerous? Khan was a city, well, a kingdom really, that predated Chichen Itza. It's believed that the dinos who rebuilt Chichen Itza actually used Khan as their reference. That's news to me. What happened then? Did the kingdom decline naturally, or did a later king decide to relocate the capital? We're not sure. To this day, no dinos knows what Khan was like in its heyday. We don't know what life was like for the dinos who lived there, or why Khan ultimately disappeared. That was long time ago, you understand. The only knowledge the priests passed down was the knowledge acquired after Chichen Itza was completed. That being said, some dinos do believe Khan's downfall had something to do with the Fourth Annihilation. So Mictlan's also experienced extinction events. No, it didn't reach the level of extinction. The dinos survived, as you can see. I already told Father Kotomeni this, but according to Kukulakan, Mictlan's son once went into hibernation of sorts. Consequently, Mictlan experienced a night which lasted for a very long time. In turn, the dinos had no choice but to follow the sun's lead, close their eyes, and enter a deep slumber. In your terms, the sleep lasted around 100,000 years. That's one hell of a hibernation period. When the sun returned, less than 10% of the dinos who had gone through the sleep were able to reawaken. 100,000 years, and only 10% of you came back. There's no way you could have repopulated your species with so few. Oh wait, no other thing about it. Humans experienced a similar miracle. 70,000 years back, when the modern humankind only existed in West Africa, there was a freak weather event that reduced the population down to only 2,000 people. They survived the crisis through it, though, and eventually spread out to other continents, eventually growing their numbers to the 7 billion alive today. Although the way to pay you put it, it sounds like the dinos were able to cryopreserve themselves. Maybe they have something similar to cryobiosis, the ability to let tardigrades, that's their name, tardigrades, survive even in outer space. That clinches that the dinos are clearly a new type of prime species. One that was purposely designed with a talent for genetic manipulation that never existed in proper human history. It's not much further to the Khan ruins now. Please, watch your step, everyone. There are many fences to trip on here. Are there fences? Yep, these are definitely ruins. There's something about them. I don't know what there is. Right, something feels off. Quiet Sky has something wrong. Something wrong? Perish the thought. I was just taking a little trip down memory lane. That's all. More importantly, look up. Do you recognize those clapping sounds and creepy laugh? Cruel. How endlessly, deliciously cruel. You cluster together in your weakness. Cowering, trembling, you build walls. You prosper and eventually call yourselves a kingdom. But no matter how you rack your brains, you're still hopelessly weak. All that hard work wasted. In the end, all that remains of you is your bones and ruins of your shattered, forgotten dreams. What can one do but laugh, but look down upon you in contempt? Truly, the tears of the weak are as sweet as the blue blood in their veins. How I've enjoyed waiting for you apes. It was worth the trouble of sending my messengers to get your attention. I'm accustomed to boredom, but don't take that to mean anything. I'm anything approaching patient. You responded so quickly that dinos could learn a lot from you in that regard. But faster isn't always better. I only count 3 servants with you this time. The shield girl, the child scholar, and a gussied-up beast. Do you really mean to challenge me, the Lord of the Underworld, with this pathetic lot? Has Tezcatlipoca rattled you so much you forgot the foolhardy display of valor you showed in the Underworld, priest of Chaldea? Fine, let's have your excuse then. Why have you so underestimated me? Are you in... It's not like we're in the Underworld right now. So you think you needn't fear me because we aren't in the Underworld? Is that it? No, it's because I can't summon more servants, you ass. Insolence, 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 death, 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 death. Alright, let you do it. You may be infuriating beyond compare, but you are brave. I like that. You're exactly what humans should be, priest of Chaldea. Now I want even more to be you. Though these summoning arts fascinate me, it's rather fun getting to meet undead warriors. I see you've reclaimed 2 of the command spells. 1 still belongs to the Underworld, though. My original plan was to cut your head off in the 3rd, no, 4th layer, and to take your eyes and brain for myself. But it seems it's time to show you how wrong you are about being able to defeat me, just because we're not in the Underworld. It's time to slake my thirst. Don't worry, all I need from you is your head. I do so love blood, but I hate having the same blood twice. Unfortunately, you all look alike. I can't be expected to tell Nahui from a servant, so it's my personal policy to kill any creature whose blood I've tasted before. Would you like to know why? So I don't ever have to look at them again and won't have to resort to tasting their blood twice. So welcome, welcome, listen well, undead warriors of Khan. The time has come to add to your ranks. Oh boy. This is something, isn't it? Camazotz is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So one of these has to be a starter. We'll have Mash be my starter. I think I'm gonna go Lam. I'm gonna go with the same essential setup that I've been going with. It has not served me wrong yet. And Lam is strong enough to be able to handle some sabers. As long as they are not break bar sabers. If they are break bar sabers, I am screwed. Battle Infinite. Organism modification. They all have organism modification. I'm a little concerned about the Battle Infinite sign. Not gonna lie. That does draw the concern from me. Okay. Yep, this is where I am. Magma weapon. It says infinite, but there's only 3 enemies, is the only confusing thing here. So there's gonna be another shoe that drops, I have no doubt about that. Okay, so... Oh, that's what it means by Battle Infinite. Oh. That's... Okay.
二度と地上に
Interesting.
これでフィニッシュ。あら、あなたたちも一緒。ラストストローク、ブルーサマーパラビオン。罠だ。
Okay. Wham Lamb dance. Envy them all.
見ているぞ。
Do again.
お別れね。最後に恋を教えてあげる。哀れな惨めな水の鳥。私の影で。さよならね。
Okay. Next verse, same as the rest. Except this time we don't have an NP at the ready. And I can't command spell. I was thinking, man, I should just command spell, give Lambda another NP just because, but nope. Can do that for a little bit, but yeah.
なで切りがいいかしら。
I wonder if the trick is that I need to fail to kill these guys in 2 turns, maybe? Beep bop boop.
なで切りがいいかしら。やっ。それ。行きなさい。
Yeah, I may as well dance with Lambda.
まとめて洗い流しましょう。見ているぞ。
I should have switched to that other. Ah, no, we should be fine.
これでフィニッシュ。あら、あなたたちも一緒。ラストストローク、ブルーサマーパラビオン。無駄だ。それ。
Beep. And cast boop. And then a doot doot doot.
お別れね。最後に恋を教えてあげる。哀れな惨めな水の鳥。私の影で。さよならね。
Okay, another round. Here we go. How many rounds will it go? How many rounds till it stops? Nobody knows. That's probably more beneficial. Do that beat.
これでフィニッシュ。あら、あなたたちも一緒。ラストストローク、ブルーサマーパラビオン。
Snap, crackle, pop the neck.
夏かった。
Keep going. Nope, wrong button press.
なで切りがいいかしら。これでフィニッシュ。あら、あなたたちも一緒。ラストストローク、ブルーサマーパラビオン。
Hey, it's finally done! How many waves was that? I honestly wasn't paying attention. That was not an infinite battle game. Also, it was a turn-based thing. That was, what, 7 turns, I think? That's what it looked like. Truly spectacular fighting, servants. Reminds me of the good old Dark Ages. I never thought the billions of souls and gallons of blood I consumed would one day be driving force for all these skeletons. Oh, those are some cool animations. Wait, what? What? How does he have souls to embed? Warrior souls. And wait. Hang on. Hang on just a minute here. They call them familiars, but he said undead of Kaan rise to add to your forces. These are not dinos, skeletons. These are human or humanoid skeletons. The point of divergence for this Lostbelt was 10 million years ago. Is it possible humanity rose in that time? Maybe. It might be possible. I mean, and Camazotz, he's been around for a long time as well. And he looks human. Is Camazotz... Okay, so... because of all this, I'm wondering if... we know the point of divergence was 10 million years ago, when a meteor struck the planet, caused devastation, but rather than recreate the surface, the spirit of the earth decided to recreate inside and created Mictlan. Dinos were not wiped out during this, but perhaps humanity, or whatever was going to become humanity, was wiped out instead. Thus, dinos rose to prevalence. Tepeu did mention a 4th extinction as well that lasted 100,000 years. Perhaps during that 4th extinction, humanity rose somehow? Or some form of humanoid life forms rose and then died again. It's possible, I guess. That might... but then wouldn't they have taken out the hibernating dinos? I don't know. There's still a lot to speculate on here. We can't even get near Camazotz with all these skeletons around. Do you have a shot, Koyanskaya? I'm afraid not. This crowd of skeletons is doing a wonderful job of making obstruction of themselves. Unfortunately for us, this is the perfect place for a necromancer. By my count, there are no fewer than 100,000 corpses buried here. Fall back for now. See, 100,000 corpses are buried here. That's right, I don't need the underworld to summon the dead. And it looks like you apes can't even see the blood threads I'm using to bind souls to skeletons. Damn it, guy looks like an idiot, but he's really good at this. He's got us boxed in and we don't have a way out. I can force my way past them and into the jungle, but I won't get more than a few meters. I don't think retreat is an option right now, Master. Push through toward Camazotz, then. I'm afraid that's not a good idea. The moment Mash gets close to him, he'll retreat back up to the sky and the skeletons will completely swarm her. We need a decoy, someone big and tough who won't get hurt in all of this. Obviously, it has to be me. Alright, everyone, I'll see you later. I should be able to hold out as long as the sun is here, but I would very much appreciate if you came to rescue me as soon as you can. Tepeu? No! It's too early for a heroic sacrifice, Tepeu! It's too early! So that's the dino barrier Sol mentioned in his report. Looks as strong as electromagnetic armor. There, I fired a volley of my prize napalm rockets. We now have a clear path into the jungle. It won't last long, though, so I suggest anyone who wants to live gets moving and quickly. Senpai. Hang in, Tepeu. I promise we'll come back for you. God, if we come back and he is a corpse under Camazotz's control, I am going to be shattered. That will be a fricked up way to take him out, man. That'll be so fricked up. Another battle. Another battle node. Restart FGO again. FGO restarts again and again because the software can't handle that. I don't know. FGO. You think this LB will F me up? I've been told to beware the spider, but I am confident I'll be fine against the spider. We overheard everything on the comms. We know Tepeyu stayed behind in enemy territory. I wish we could combat the enemy's numbers with our own, but... We'll help save Master Tepeyu. We've gotta. But we can't handle Kimazatsu. He's just too scary. I know we should be afraid, but I can't stop shaking.
Deinonychus brothers, get a hold of yourselves, Soccer Raptors. We're not going to demand that the non-combatants put themselves in danger. We just need your speed. Run to the temple as fast as you can and fetch Kukulakan. She's ridiculously strong. She should have no trouble handling hundreds, no, thousands of enemies. Our 7th bro's already doing just that, but he screeched that he can't find Lady Kukulakan anywhere. Damn it, she just does whatever the hell she feels like, doesn't she?
Doing gameplay-wise, Spider is fine to fight, honestly. See, Zahak has been saying that I'm gonna get wrecked by the Spider.
I suppose this is it then. Koi and Sky, I can't do much against these skeletons, but since they don't desire anything, and with Captain unable to leave the border right now, does this mean it's time for Katak with his anti-beast magecraft and combat focus, so accustomed to fighting on the front lines? Sion, an expert alchemist and elite member of the Atlas Institute whose plans always go according to her calculations. Myself, an intellectual mage and expert commander who issues orders left and right from HQ. And Monier, who can also probably do something useful, like to join Soul in battle.
I'm not really a combatant, you know. I can't use threats or pull off combos or anything like that. Okay. Okay, that was great. Hang on. That was great, because isn't Sion from, like, a fighting game? Like, I know there's a Fate fighting game, and isn't Sion in there in combos? Okay, that's a great reference. Love that. I overheard the whole thing. It seems my time has come. Neato Burrito! No one can match me in the arts of necromancy. That Kamazatsu is even using zombies and skeletons just shows how much he has to learn. If this demon claims to be a skilled summoner, I will show him the true might of Egyptian technique. The technique that even takes our undead's comfort and well-being into consideration by ensuring they still have bodies.
Oh, now that's confidence right there. I never believed you were the same servant who's been on a losing streak since we got here. Well said, Nitocris. This is your chance to redeem yourself after your humiliating loss to Lawlock.
Did you really need to bring that up right now?
He probably didn't, but it's Gordy. He can't help himself.
So the Neato Burrito. Yes, I can hear them. The voices of the dead. With so many here, even an experienced necromancer could imbue these vessels. Imbue them in vessels. He could call out 100 dead, and we could only capture one. I doubt he cares who he gets as long as they can fight. So they are just ghosting him. Nice. Nice. I am. This is where we fought that turkey. I remember its cry was no ordinary thing. I see now it's because it was calling out to the dead. That's why it affected me so much. I can hear the voices of the dead. I'm ashamed I didn't realize this at the time, and only dismissed it as a healthy morning call. So you essentially left your spirit channel on and dialed it up to maximum volume? More or less, yes. It didn't do me any favors at the time, but at least I can make use of that experience now. I'm going to lay a spell that mimics that bird's cry over Kamazatsu's necromancy, jamming his single. Only a truly exceptional necromancer could hope to keep control of their familiars under those circumstances. Which set of those ears do you use to listen to the dead anyway? Do try to keep your insolence to a minimum. As for my ears, it doesn't matter either way. We're here. These are the Khan ruins. Now where's Tepeyu? He's still fine. Whew. That's relief. Ouch, these common soldiers are hurting me. Looks like he's tired, but he's hanging in there. Oh, we're not too late, which is a relief.
So you returned, Chaldean boy. Good. Struggling like that really gets your blood pumping. So what did you bring this time? A storm? A fire? A disease? It doesn't matter. The Khan warriors are indestructible. You can never defeat them with that kind of violence you use on the living. ...
Lots of dotting here. I don't know what's going on, but this world seems to be our chance. I'll open my underworld mirror and cleanse the spirits of this spot that fill this land. Go, Nito!
A necromancer, I knew it. You should be ashamed. Revolting! Revolting! I want to tear my own eyes out. It's so hideous. Kill that woman, my warriors, otherwise she will send you into a nightmare from which you will never awaken. How dare you hear the voices of the dead even outside the underworlds? There's only room in Mictlan for one necromancer, and that's me.
His voice really hurts my voice. I did not choose a good voice for my own vocal cords. But nothing like some cool, refreshing H2O to soothe my throat. Alright, so Nito Burrito is our primary. Oh, Nash needs to be in the starting lineup. Fair. But Nito Burrito is our primary go-to here. I like how it didn't even give you a support Nito Burrito, so that's kind of fun. Because usually they give them the supports. We want us a
Weber with CE. Party on.
And let's go with the Meme Master. No CE for the Meme Master. Let's roll. Also, I do hope you guys would tell me if the stream is lagging, because according to my laptop, it like pauses every 10 minutes, which is not fun. I knew it, Necromancer. Shame on you, you should gouge out your eyes. Kill her, warriors. Your crime of listening to the voices of any other than the dead is unforgivable. Dead jamming. Medium chance to inflict stun when attacking an undead, and increase charge by 1 at the end of turn. Let's increase your death success rate as well, Nito Burrito. And let's see if we can't one-shot. Do not miss your chance to blow these Khan warriors up, Nito Burrito! Yeah! Death hath been inflicted. Also, I do gotta admit, I like Nito's current outfit more than the baseline outfit. I do quite like this outfit a lot. Excuse me. Yeah, that should be a done set deal. So, oh, nice stretch. Oh, man, my muscles are like really tense after all that cold. I do not understand how people can enjoy cold weather after having lived without heat for as long as I did. Also, it's hilarious that this increase... Oh, shoot, they're break barred now. Increase NP gauge by 1 thing per thing is doing nothing because Nito Burrito is not that kind of servant. She is not a servant that gets ticks. She gets just straight NP. So it's kind of hilarious. But all the same, Nito Burrito smash. But yeah, do not understand how people can enjoy the cold. I mean, even inside of a house, the temperature got down to like 30, I think was its coldest, but that was on the ground floor. Okay, so death does not just straight destroy. That was something I was wondering. But yeah, essentially, it was too cold for me to comfortably live, and now I'm just very stiff. Fahrenheit. It was like 30 degrees Fahrenheit inside. So I think that is like 0 degrees Celsius, if memory serves. But yeah, it was very cold. Multiple layers bundling up. But enough complaining about the cold. It is getting closer to warm weather. That's only like, hopefully 3 months away. May there please be an early spring. May there please be an early spring this year. Just wear good clothing and you're fine. See, here's the thing. I hate the cold so much, I do not own a pair of sweatpants or a long sleeve shirt. I have jeans, but wearing jeans all day long is very uncomfortable. So most days I just rock a t-shirt and shorts and socks. That is what I do pretty much. No, I hate the cold. I hate it. I prefer the warmth of summer than the cold of winter. I so prefer warm to cold. So prefer it. What is this? What just happened? What happened is that you just lost, Demon God. I've read these runes of all the dead spirits gathered here. You no longer have even a single pawn to command. I said, what just happened? Uh-oh. Oh. Neato? Hang on. That is thumbnail material. But, okay. Huh. That is kind of intimidating. One move and I'll split her from head to toe with my scythe. So fast, you grabbed me before I had time to blink. Now answer me, woman. What just happened here? How did you do it? You have wrist warmers for legs and hands, long underwear, and onesies to take over my clothes, and wearable blankets. Yeah, I don't have any of that. And I wasn't going to spend the money to get that. You mean how I returned your familiars to Earth? I just used my own dead spirits to banish your. No, the soldiers you commanded. You were treating those pale ghosts as though they were your own subjects, weren't you? Those ghosts were long dead. Any dreams they had vanished with their souls. And you're going to tell me what? That you remember each of their names? What? Answer me! Do you actually bother remembering them all? Do you really recall those dead people's names and deeds every single time you call upon them? Of course I do. Those ghosts were all once loyal subjects of the Pharaoh. Even if they're no longer with us, I still honor their names and their deeds. A pharaoh who reigned as briefly as I did, only able to exist as a heroic spirit because I share their pain. Ugh. Disgusting, utterly disgusting. I want to tear my own skin off. I can't take it any longer. This is the worst day ever, ruined by the worst woman ever. What even are those ridiculous rabbit ears? They make every hair on my body stand on end. I'm going to Yaya Koi for a healing bath that's bring the source of night should at least rid me of these awful chills. Well, he's scared of Nito Burrito. I'm not sure what he was talking about, but I get the feeling it was very insolent indeed. Also, it's interesting to know that that is a proper bra that Nito Burrito is wearing. Anyway, I did manage to land a hit on him, but does this mean we've driven him away? I'd say this counts as victory for sure. Indeed, victory is yours, and I have lived to see another day. Thank you all so much. I was sure that he was going to kidnap Nito Burrito there and turn her into that altar form that we know is summonable. But I guess not. Nitocris, you did what no one else has ever been able to accomplish. You defeated Camazotz and drove him off. I've no doubt there's going to be a grand festival in Chichen Itza tonight. You should return there with your head held high. I see. A festival, huh? Wait, what? Oh, neato burrito. Gloves for gaming to keep your fingers warm. Yeah. I don't know. That sounds like a lot, to be honest, Mordred. That sounds like a lot. No battle for this node. We're making good time so far. We're making some good time. We might be able to get 2 sections done today. We just might. You were right, Tepeu. This is quite the party. Spectacular work, Nitocris. No other warriors ever managed to drag Himazats away. The Dinos will never forget what you've done. From now on, whenever they encounter a problem, they'll say, Nitocris didn't give up when she drove off that annoying bat. What would Nitocris do? What would Nitocris do?
Insolence! Insolence!
Poor Nito Burrito. Party's still going on by the sounds of it. I can still hear the dinos all the way out here. This is not how I imagined today would go, but at least Caldea is super popular with the dinos now. Starting tomorrow, we should be able to focus on repairing the border again. But before that, we need to continue our discussion from earlier. It seems that the last cryptor, David Semvoid, has a plan of his own, entirely separate from the foreign gods. Excuse me. He means to use ORT, wherever it is in this Lostbelt, to destroy the entire planet. So our top priority now, ahead of tracking down ORT or cutting down the Tree of Emptiness, is to stop David's plan. Though, of course, since we have not yet been able to detect the Tree of Emptiness, much less locate it, we can do little in the way of planning to cut it down. Could be like a Chinese Lostbelt situation where it's hidden. Yeah, between crashing, getting taken prisoner, the surprise cultural exchange, the zombie attack, I honestly haven't given a thought to searching for the Tree of Emptiness. What about you, Soul? Mash? Have you seen anything around that looked like it could maybe be the Tree of Emptiness? Nope, Mictlan's chock full of mysteries, but I feel like ORT has already absorbed it. I agree with Senpai, the surface is completely devastated while this underground world teems with life. I think if we understood Mictlan's structure, we'd have no trouble figuring out where the Tree of Emptiness is, but...
You people are overthinking this. Things like the Tree of Emptiness are always in the deepest, most inaccessible parts of their world. So it seems clear to me that we will find Mictlan's Tree of Emptiness at its southernmost point, the 9th bottomest stratum, thinking vertically. And that means once the storm border is back up and running, we can fly right to it. So for now, let's just be patient, give our technical advisor and Sion time to finish repairs while we kick back and relax in our air-conditioned rooms. Not happening, Gordolf. Did you forget about the report of what happened in Mexico City? If we don't do something soon, we won't be able to stop the future where ORT wakes up. We have no idea how long it will be until that happens. So the best thing we can do right now is stop Tezcatlipoca and David's plans before they can wake up ORT. Right, that slipped my mind, but the future they saw was already set, no? Will us stopping their plan change that?
Of course, if we do nothing, the future they saw in Mexico City will be set. But right now, we are still in the crossroads of the present. Should ORT wake, we will no longer be able to alter the future Tezcatlipoca showed us. However, if we can stop ORT from waking, the future is entirely in our hands. Yep, and that's why we need all the information we can get. Who exactly is David Semvoid? How is he planning to wake ORT? For that matter, what exactly is ORT? We still haven't detected it in Mictlan, so right now we can't even say whether it's asleep or dead. Without that information, we can't really formulate a plan. As much as I wish otherwise. Unfortunately, we don't have any way of finding more information. Neither the dinos nor the King of Dinosaurs seems to have any knowledge of things outside Chichen Itza. Maybe we could infiltrate Mexico City again and ask David himself? No, that's a dumb idea. Even if we manage to get in and find him, he'd sooner die than tell us anything.
What should we do then? It's been less than a year since David came to this Lostbelt, and same with the other cryptors. So where was he for all that time? What was he doing? How did someone so opposed to humanity summon Tezcatlipoca? Where exactly are ORT and the Tree of Emptiness? If only we could talk to someone who had the answers to those questions. Of course, we could never be so lucky as to have someone who conveniently has knowledge of what we need.
Oh, is that all you need? Because I'm pretty sure you can find a Dinos who knows what the Cryptor has been doing since his arrival. They're in Metztitlan. Metztitlan. When'd you get here, Kukulakin? Oh, sorry. Dinos have been pestering me for more of your stories. So I came here to fetch Soul and Mash. But your conversation was so interesting I just couldn't help but listen in, yes? I see. Sorry we didn't notice you. So what is this Mictlan place? In our world's Aztec mythology, it is part of a name of the first of the 13 heavens, the bottommost dominion where the moon moved. Ihuatl Metzli. So from what you're saying, I gather it's some kind of moon-like facility overlooking all of Mictlan? That's right. Unlike the bastard in the sunglasses, I don't know much about the future, causality, or any other complicated topics. But I do still want to help you, so I decided to skip the council meeting here in Mictlan and come here to talk. If you don't know the answer to the question, ask someone who does. And there's a very knowledgeable dinos who's good at answering questions in the Mictlan Observatory, yes? So there's someone up there with greater knowledge of Mictlan than you. So that is, who in the world is this person? Are they a part of the teachings of the sun like you? Good question. The circumstances of our births are pretty similar. If you think of me as Mictlan's new son, she's Mictlan's new land. She can never leave the place where she was born. And that place is the last destination humankind can reach on their own power, the observatory that was built in the 7th stratum. It's known as Mictlan, the terminal observatory, and is home to Princess Archetype Earth. Well, I guess I know when Ark is coming in, aren't we? She's a duplicate of the planet Sol. She's existed ever since Mictlan first came into being. So we are going to be seeing Archetype Earth. 7th stratum. All those words, almost like the Chaldea of Mictlan.
Thank you, Kokolok. I was expecting a lifeline, but you've truly proven to be our savior. Alright, everyone, you heard the goddess. We're beginning a new operation. Soul, Mash, Habitrop, Da Vinci, and Nitocris over there are having the time of their lives. Prepare to leave for the 7th stratum at once. And could I ask you to accompany them too, Kukulakan? Da Vinci will only be able to handle data analysis. You're the strongest fighter around by far. We would be very grateful if you were willing to help Soul.
Of course. Yay, thanks, Director. Now I have the perfect excuse to cancel my annoying council meeting. I can't turn down a request for aid after all. Scott and I will stay here to focus on repairing the border. Koyan, you're on guard duty. What will you do, Katak? You'll be helpful no matter which group you go with. So you should go where you think you can do the most good. Okay, I'll stay with the border too. Can't help with the repairs. I'm going to go over the clock tower files since they might have something on Daybit.
Good idea. I think I'll do the same. The clock tower files are heavily encrypted, though. We'll need to decrypt them one at a time.
I can help with that, though it'll have to be in my downtime between repair tasks.
Alright, then it's settled. Let's get to work, everyone. Not this second. Soul and Kyrolite still need to rest. You both have a responsibility to get 7 hours of sleep and 2 hours of relaxation each day. You'll be departing tomorrow morning. Until then, take some time and enjoy Chichen Itza's nightlife if you like.
Why don't you spend the night too, Commander?
Good point. A chance like this doesn't come around every day. If I think of it as a vacation near a tropical rainforest, then maybe... No, wait, you can't fool me! I just know I'm going to be mistaken for a giant coke de ball the moment I set foot outside. I'm passed around from dinos to dinos until I end up somewhere I don't even want to imagine.
But first, we should probably rescue Nitocris from the shrine. And since the dinos want to hear more Lostbelt stories, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. We've got a long journey ahead of us starting tomorrow, so this might be your last chance to talk to them. Make sure to tell them as much as you can. It's still going. And that's the story. We told the Lostbelt stories out of order? What the hell? What kind of storyteller are we? Wow, world of all vassals and just 1 human. Man, that's efficient. Really efficient. The vassals do all the heavy labor to keep the world running and provide the king with culture. The king evaluates it all and becomes the primary figure in making further advancements. Technological development could never take a wrong turn in a world like that. The other Lostbelt worlds were pretty astonishing too, but in terms of completion, the Chinese Lostbelt sounds like it was right at the top. I know what you mean. No one in this society ever had to feel unnecessary suffering or want things they could never have. Complete, yes, I'd say it is, but at a level of a species, maintaining the status quo is effectively regression. No matter how stable the world a species lives in may be, that species never changes at all. It will only be a matter of time before other species surpass them, effectively causing them to degrade. But this Qin Shi Huang managed to make all those changes themselves, so long as they never made a mistake, the Chinese Lostbelt would have been powerful indeed. So they did not in fact make any mistakes, which is why their empire became eternal. It's just too bad their own lifespan was limited, not necessarily physically, since they did acquire an immortal body, but mentally. It almost sounds as though the Great Wall they built enclosed their mind as well as their nation. That part I honestly didn't understand. Why would a human of that caliber stop trying to grow their territory? Isn't that why they became emperor in the first place? To grow humanity's domain as far as possible. They wanted to test how far they could evolve. I'd say it was probably a combination of space travel not seeming to be worth the cost and interest in pursuing their own evolution. Mothman was the ultimate human in a very real sense. Their ideology was solipsistic, yes, but that was because they truly believed themselves to be the pinnacle of humanity. And since they were so strong in both mind and body, they probably never saw a need to compare themselves to others. It's the same ideal Kirstari tried to bring about. Mothman loved their subjects and strove to advance the human species as much as possible. They are a perfected person, a true Zenren. But unfortunately, there was no one else in that world who could stand as their peer, which ended up leaving them as the only human there was. So they were a really, really hard-headed human. That sounds kind of like Tepeu. He never lets anything stop him, even when he's all alone. Those other Lostbelts are amazing. They could never try to keep surviving after an extinction. And none of us care about having our species flourish or trying to evolve further. But surely you guys don't want to go extinct either, right?
We do try to avoid death, but that's not the same thing as trying to avoid extinction.
That would require a way of looking at things which was very focused on us specifically. We live for something bigger than ourselves. That said, no dinos can put into words exactly what that bigger thing is. But you taught us that our world is a Lostbelt, a world that was meant to be pruned away. We're very grateful to you for that. We're not envious of any of the other Lostbelts or of proper human history, because we know that our Mictlan is already a complete and perfected world. Yeah, we all love Mictlan, and we're really grateful to Lady Kukulakan. But, I do wonder if our Lostbelt's meaning as meaningful a world as the other ones. I hope so. All the Lostbelts have meaning. As we've told Oberon in LB6, we will never forget the story that we learned in the Lostbelt. Never will we forget the story. The story will live on in our hearts forever. There you are, Wakchan. I've been looking for you. Are you feeling like your old self yet?
It's no use. Nothing I do works. I don't want to do anything ever again. Not until the sun disappears forever.
Your brainwaves aside, you seem like you're still in peak physical condition, so let me give you this message. The Chaldeans will be heading to the 7th stratum at daybreak. If you would be willing to go with them as their porter, it would be a tremendous help.
Whoa, 7th stratum, that's amazing. That's practically a stone's throw away from the dreaded land. Even I only been there once. My dad took me when I was a kid, and I only remember seeing the stars there. That sounds like a ton of fun. Guess those guys will go anywhere as long as they have a goal. Oh, but Olga's gonna be there too, right? I don't know what to say to her. No, I know I should have said something to cheer her up instead of just disappeared, but... Wakchan, Yola Marie is no longer in Chichen Itza. She and the Chaldeans have gone their separate ways. I doubt she'll ever return. How'd that happen? I thought they were friends. Oh, what do you know, Tepeu?
This would seem to be a good time to explain. I can only guess based on information I've been able to piece together, but I believe Yola Marie to be Chaldea's enemy. No, not just that, she may also be the greatest threat to the dinos as well. You've heard their stories about proper human history in the Lostbelts, yes? And you know how the world outside ours, the civilization of Earth, was erased by the bleached Earth phenomenon, right? Well, the bleached Earth phenomenon didn't just erase civilization, it also scoured every living thing from the planet. That being responsible for that is the foreign god, an alien who wiped out 7 billion humans all on her own. And you, Ogilmarie, is that foreign god. At least, so I believe. There are a few points that don't quite add up, so I can't be completely certain. But all that aside, whether by coincidence or a miracle, we were able to speak and travel with her for a time, but that was no more than a dream bound to end sooner or later. Quite frankly, our journey with her was a mistake.
You're kidding me.
No, he's really not.
Please try to call down Lord Vakoop. The king may not be here right now, but we're still in the presence of the solar sojourn. If you flap your wings too loudly...
Shut up, how are you not bothered by this? How long are these fools going to keep falling all over themselves, falling over those damned outsiders? Even the king of dinosaurs is going along with it. Have they no reverence for the holy Kokta shrine? That shrine is meant to be where we give thanks to the sun's cycle. It's not a place to celebrate outsiders. many times are they going to make the same mistake before they get it through their thick skulls? What good has foreign culture ever brought us? That damn crypto's knowledge has been nothing but poison. The inclusion of language has only created disparities between dinos, and the Akhlama have been growing stronger at an alarming rate. The only reason you Cretans aren't worried is because you don't know how far Mexico City has come. If there are other winged dinos besides me, they would tell you, just as I have, how terrifying that city is. If there were others? Please calm down, Priest Vakub. Other priests will come by if you make too much noise. No, they won't. They're all down at the Kokta Shrine making fools of themselves over the story of Kamazak's defeat. They have no sense of urgency, no concerns whatsoever with the impending danger. Why is that? It's because you Cretans never had any natural predators, because you never knew how terrifying it is to be the only one of your kind. We must find a way to wipe out the Akhlama. We ignore Mexico City's growing power at our own peril. Dinos rule in Mictlan. It's about time we started thinking that way. And yet Kukulak has left the Akhlama to do whatever they please. Next thing you know, she's brought back a human child and named him king of all the dinos. And then, just when we thought she'd gone off to observe Mexico City from a distance, she comes back dressed like a damn axolotl. This all happened recently. Probably a minister's knowledge has tarnished Mictlan and our son. In fact, that woman has been far too welcoming to those probably human history outsiders ever since she learned of this god concept.
You mustn't say such things, Lord Vakub. Please, at least refrain from putting such thoughts to words.
Shut up! This isn't my fault. It's the fault of the king and god who made me think this in the first place. What do you think I am, anyway? I'm a rare pterosaur. The only kind of dino is blessed to be chosen by the skies. It should be me standing at the top of dino society. Do you have any idea how much of myself I've devoted to Mictlan for that purpose? Despair, repugnant king of dinosaurs. Despair, useless Kukulakan. That the crypto showing up could change our entire culture proves that we never had a culture of our own to begin with.
You're exactly right, Lord Vakub. No one loves Mictlan more than you. You're the perfect dino to lead us all.
Alright, move ahead with that plan we discussed. Tell his Kalia will agree to a second meeting in secret. You fucking traitor! A plan to steal the sun, huh? It's bold, I'll give him that. But it was at least worth hearing what he had to say. I certainly can't think of a better pretext. Fine, if it will really save our dying son, he can have Chichen Itza. You are a fucking traitor, Vakub! Wow, that's a way to end a section. Oh, fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 arrows. Nope. Nuh-uh. It's not gonna happen tonight. The last 8 arrow node took me 3 hours to do. I don't have that in me tonight. So, I'm gonna call this stream of FGO here. We will continue tomorrow, for both those on Twitch and YouTube, with Section 13, Third Underworld. How do you pronounce that? Yeah, this is going to take quite a lot longer. There is no pronunciation for this. So, took you 2-3 days for this Lostbelt. Yeah, it's going to take me longer just for the fact that I read this out loud rather than in my head. But yeah, I'm definitely going to call this one here. We're going to resume this tomorrow. Not sure when exactly. It will be earlier than this, but I do have to be cautious because I am expecting a phone call from my academic advisor for my new university with regards to my transfer credits, so that does take priority over FGO. But that is all tomorrow's concerns. For today, I have been Soulrack Dragon. I hope you've all enjoyed today's stream of FGO or video if you're watching this on YouTube. If you have, please be sure to leave me some feedback in whichever way you so see fit. A like and a sub will go a great way to letting me know that you enjoy this and that you want to see more, and you'll be reminded when the next part comes out tomorrow. But for now, once more, thank you all so much for coming out. I hope you enjoyed. Have a fantastic evening, everybody.